You are live. I'm alive. You're alive. Thanks for watching the replay. Welcome to my office. And boy, do we have so much to discuss. So, in typical fashion, I'm going to be recording a podcast for the Jeremy Knows podcast, which you can listen to on Spotify, Apple, etc., with as many updates regarding VeeFriends as I possibly can. It's been a minute, I think, before Art Basel since we did a podcast update. So I'm going to be scouring the Discord, going through the blog, making sure I didn't miss anything, notes from various tweets, etc., bookmarks. So feel free to hang out. I also want to do a little bit of AMA. At the same time, this is the first ever Twitter live stream. So my understanding is Twitter is live right now. I don't know. We're going to try and check it out. Let's see what we find. Yep, look, there we are. We got a little live inception right now. So that's cool. So I'm going to try to monitor this, but it's a little confusing. So let me see. If I open the live stream up on my phone, can I see the live chat? That would be nice. Looks like yes. So if you have questions about anything going on in VeeFriends, that will just help me identify where the confusion is or lack of information about VeeFriends stuff, and I'll make sure to add it into the podcast. So feel free to say what's up. Or if you're on Twitch, we're on twitch.tv/VeeFriends. I'll say here at the front, I'm not affiliated with VeeFriends. I'm just holding that handle for the team. They're well aware of it. They're welcome to take it at any time. Everything that I'm going to share with you right now is non-proprietary information. It's on Twitter or Discord or from the blockchain or what have you. So yeah, let's get into it. Oh, I wasn't sharing my screen. Look, here's our little inception. In a moment, that little box will have this bigger box, and then the bigger box will have another smaller box. There it goes. Ba-ba-bum, ba-ba-bum, ba-ba-bum. Hey, Gas Fairy, how are you? And G Miller Snap, the first person to join the Twitter live stream. This is really exciting. So hello all, and I'll try to keep the momentum going, but this is a little bit of like watch me work podcast prep. So again, if you have any questions, please do let me know. So let's take a look at what's been going on in VeeFriends. If you didn't know, blog.veefriends.com is sort of like the main channel for publication by VeeFriends. So I'm just going to work. Oops. Did that show up? Did that come back? Great. So I'm just going to sort of work through what we got going on here. We had a tech test with VAuth. Web to email and password login coming to the website. What's going on over here? Dismiss that. What's up, Like 10? Good to see you. I'm like juggling a little bit. This is fun. I'm gonna go through the Discord, and I guess I'll call it up here so y'all can see, as I go along. I basically just keep track. I try to do this as I go. Oh, see, it's going to take me directly to the app. That's fine. Let's close this out here. Let me get in the same window. Da-da-dum. Da-da-dum-dum-dum-dum. Nope. Close. Here we go. Open it up here. Discord notes. And let me also think about like what were some of the big. So the epic art class was very interesting. A couple of things that came out of it are Gary's spirit animal. Gary's spirit animal. Actually, and kind of in the background, I want to talk about ChatGPT. Cool tool for folks to be aware of. Gary's spirit animal on Improv Impulse is the competitive clown, but then he made a mention that it's actually the intuitive iguana, which I think is interesting. Not a character we see a lot of excitement around. There was a lot of emphasis on the importance of the traits. It was probably the most well-executed event that I've seen from VeeFriends. rivaled probably only by Gift Goats. It was at Timeout Market. Folks got $60 to spend on food and drinks. There was a 30-minute chat with Gary and Swansit, and then about a 15-minute AMA with holders, and then about an hour to create an original IP or character that was subsequently scanned on site and being minted this week. I'm sort of scanning my mind. If anybody was there and wants to sort of trigger some fun stuff that happened during the talk, I think we got a little bit of info about VCon, little tweaks and improvements, more focus around business content, same summer camp, family reunion vibes. And I guess we can also address, it is a Thursday to Saturday event. Gary will be there on Wednesday and Sunday, and wants to go to satellite events. What's up, Leck? Can I get some comments on Twitter? Come on, we're doing Twitter for the first time. I'd appreciate a little GM, a little hello, a little how are you, and what's going on. For people who are finding this on Twitter for the first time, you're like, I didn't even know this guy live stream. I do it pretty frequently on Twitch and YouTube. In fact, the archive of pretty much every single Twitch stream is on YouTube. It's not optimized. I need to make it all short form content, but it is all there. The vintage frames were very cool. I guess I could grab a pair. Let me grab a pair. We'll show them off. Bubble, pretty sweet packaging. Hold that up for later. A couple things in the IP realm that we've seen. IP and details. So, we have what would you call it? Like a new monogram logo. With fall and winter, the characters were Grateful Gar, Patient Panda, Competitive Clown, and Selfless Sloth. And the types were hoodies, long sleeve, short sleeve, and sweatpant, joggers. Pretty cool. One little detail here is on the hoodie, it is embroidered with G's handwriting, which is pretty cool. Let me go through. Oh, this is a good one. Yeah, this is a good one. Let's open this up. So it's sort of like in other news. This is going to be a pretty long podcast, I can already tell. Now, I will say, I didn't give a full read to this article. It's a 12-minute read. It came out just a couple days ago. Why I said 97 to 99% of NFTs would go to zero and what it means. Make it a little bit bigger for you. This is sort of just like a bit of a retrospective. Gary was saying this when his project launched, but, citing sort of November of last year that, there's rocky waters ahead for NFTs, and obviously the content that he created along the way. So I suppose I think this article is valuable for a few reasons. If you're deep in the NFT space and you've seen a lot of these things play out, I think it gives perspective. But it's also probably really good ammunition for folks who are like bullish on NFT technology, not exactly clear how to communicate to their friends, family, or colleagues why there's actually something valuable happening here, despite the rampant amount of scams and the broad number of bad actors. I think this is helpful. Looking at sort of the trajectory of Amazon post IPO, talking about short-term greed. So I mostly skim this, but talking about like, what he was saying from the very beginning, bet on the jockey instead of the horse, where he thinks they're going. And it's interesting, this article was published shortly before I think Gary was turned on to ChatGPT, which is another cool thing that maybe I'll talk about it in a separate podcast, but is a really, really powerful tool. Basically here with ChatGPT, you have a AI chatbot that you can like literally, it's basically an AI copywriter. So it's like, I don't know. What are 5 ways that I can make money as a content creator? And then in real time, it doesn't actually search the web. It has like an uploaded database that ends at the end of 2021. And it's an incredible resource. Like this thing can write code, it can debug code, it can write job postings, it can write novels, songs, like write me a poem about GM culture on Twitter in iambic pentameter. Let's see what it does with that. We'll see. Oh, we're getting some comments. What's up? GM, NFT Nunzi, GM Miller, GM Leck. Good to see everybody. Oh my God. I can't believe it can do this. So for those who don't know, iambic pentameter is the type of poetic form that Shakespeare wrote all of his plays in. It's basically a 10-syllable per line format that goes soft, hard accent, iambic, pentameter being 5 meters, 1 meter made of 2 syllables. So let's see how it did. In the world of Twitter, GM reigns supreme. With witty jokes and memes that make us gleam, we share our thoughts and feelings, all the while ignoring trolls and haters with a smile. But GM culture isn't just for fun. It's a place where friendships are one and one. We support each other through the good and bad and make each other happy when we're sad. So let's raise a virtual glass to GM and all the joy and laughter that it brings. Here's to the culture that we all adore. Long may it flourish on Twitter and more. Which, I'm going to be honest, it's not the worst. It's not the worst. And the fact that it can write it in the proper meter immediately is remarkable. And I'm bringing this up for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's going to completely change efficiency across the board in probably most every industry that uses written text. And number two, Gary sort of brought this to, I think he tweeted about it as well, but he also brought it to the attention of the Discord. So it's like some sort of one of those things that I wanted to keep on the radar. So let me actually just get the link for folks. And then we can, for some reason, my keyboard copy and paste isn't working anymore. So I have to like double click, right click and paste, which is, not my favorite thing in the world. Anyway, coming back to it. Oh, this is definitely a great thing that I want to put in the podcast. Follow VeeFriends. This is just a tweet that VeeFriends put out on a Sunday. Oh, what's that about? Interesting. So I'd highly encourage you to sort of check that out. Follow some VeeFriends. Oh, VFam Sessions put out a podcast with Andy Kranak, president of VeeFriends. I haven't listened to it yet, but I imagine it's a good listen. I thought I saw them tweet out the full thing. Let me see. What is this? Great. Love it. Memes. Here, we'll just do it this way. Apple Podcast. So if you're ever wondering like how I know everything that's going on in VeeFriends, because I do shit like this. So let's get a copy link for this. I guess full disclosure, Rob, who runs VFam Sessions, is a token holder of mine. He didn't ask me to promote his podcast. I just think it's relevant to what's going on in VeeFriends. We did have the VeeFriends takeover event, so I would be remiss to talk about Miami Art Week without talking about that. So that was amazing. Gosh, there's so much to say about that. A bunch of sponsors, a bunch of really great people turned out. We had V-Minders in the room. We had Leaders on Chain. I almost wonder if I should just do a dedicated episode to this because there's a lot of like sponsors that I want to shout out and such. Yeah, I'm going to make that choice. It's going to sort of detract from a lot of the more practical information that needs to go out there. This is a great picture. This was so fun because we were closing up the show and I think it wasn't Christy actually. It was Amit right here who like whispered to me, he's like, let's get a picture of everybody who was in Clubhouse in like the very early days. And so we just started to call out people one by one, brought them on stage. So this is that picture. And then everybody else jumped in the picture, which was super fun. Hold on. Oh, this is VFam Sessions. That's why. Loud Punks. This is very cool. Let's talk about Galaxy Fight Club. I see your question on Twitter. I'm going to get to it in just a second. Yeah, let's do it here. BitMinks have been getting a ton of utility. I feel like there's a new collaboration project rolling out every like couple weeks. Let's see. What's your question here? Yeah. What's up, V-Rocks? Jeremy, that document is for you or it's uploaded in some public place? Oh, this document is for me to organize myself through the podcast. What ends up happening is I end up having more notes here than I can fit into the podcast show notes. But I could totally clean this up a bit and add it to... I guess I could just link to this document in the show notes. So I could do that. I can make this available. Let me check the Twitch comments really quick. Okay, everybody's on Twitter. Love it. Cool. Coming back to it. Oh, this is very important. This is very important. So let's put this right at the top. Book games and evolving pose claim ending on December 31st. I don't know why it's screw that. Also open a support ticket if you need to. Don't wait till the last minute. So I imagine most people who are tapped in on Twitter and are watching this live stream right now or even listening to the playback are aware. But as a reminder, if you have a Series 1 NFT from VeeFriends, you have until December 31st to get your free mint and free compete and collect card boxes of the Evolving Pose. So don't forget to do that. The same goes for book games. If you bought the 12 and a half book promo deal back last August, then you have until the end of the year to claim them. If any that go unclaimed go into a special VeeFriends wallet, of which they haven't really told us what they're going to do with. They'll probably do giveaways, promos, etc. And if you buy a VeeFriend that doesn't have, so let me link the token checker. If you buy a VeeFriend that doesn't have, that has yet to claim their Series 2, you can also do that. So there are actually two separate websites. So we're going to go back to the basics. VeeFriends.com is kind of changing all the time. There's the book games, Shapes to the Exchange, a library of all the tokens, and Explore Friends is similar. This is more of like a filtered version or a filterable version of the library, which is organized by letter. Fun fact, there are no X VeeFriends yet. But VeeFriends.com will show you the latest blog posts. Sometimes this banner is a call to action, like when there was a burn for VCon tickets or other stuff. And this is sort of a short link to the blogs. But there's a separate website, a subdomain at series2.VeeFriends.com. And I would recommend generally that you navigate here through the Discord. I'm just verifying my spelling and I know what the website is. So, but generally, I would encourage you to, click links only from official sources. You don't need to type it in like I did just now. And Series 2 is really like much more aesthetic. You can see a lot of the VeeFriends. Let me add this. Like check the website. Check the website sometimes. Also fortune cookies. Wow. We also had more events. We had the House of WoW by Pure WoW. That happened just yesterday. Kids event, trading cards, and Heart Trooper. So anyway, coming back to it, you can sort of see some of the priorities here, right? They released an EP of 5 songs on Halloween. VeeFriends is on Spotify with all the music that they release. So this was a combination of the songs we had already heard, like The Most Motivated Monster, and new songs like It's Jolly Jacko and Skilled Skeleton. So that was cool. Then shop.veefriends.com is linked here. Now it's primarily showing at the top, at least, the fall winter apparel, which came out this week. But you can also still get the Macy's for international folks. It's noted well here. I appreciate that. This is only for international. If you're looking to buy domestically, just go to Macy's.com directly. And I saw, man, I'm really going on tangents, but it has been a minute since we did this. So I did see that there was, over like the Black Friday holiday, some discounts. Let's see if this is still going on. Yeah, what is this? Good thing that's not my postal address. $24.99. So that's the same, but I thought I just saw a promo. Where'd the promo go? Polar bear plush? Well, I don't want a polar bear plush. There was a buy one, get one half off going on for a while. It looks like it's over. Okay. Then this is probably taking us to the blog. These are the 3 events that happened at Miami Art Week. Yep. So you had the Flamingo, the Forthright Flamingo Vintage Frames collab, followed by the Epic Art class, where Epic and Access token holders had an AMA with Gary, followed by a like create your own IP experience, and then Scope Beach, which was a series of kind of art talks and activations, followed by just like a massive party. VCon 2023. This is probably going to the VCon website. Oh, this is the blog announcement. Okay. and then the animated shorts. So is this on YouTube? Where is this taking us? Yep. Cool. So the reason I brought you here is because I want to show people the Series 1 claim is at the top. And you won't be able to use the token ID checker until you connect your wallet, which is maybe not ideal. But just make sure you're on the right website. But even like this animation, like this is the first time I'm seeing this animation. Like this didn't exist when they launched this site. They're constantly adding little tweaks. And like, look at like, what is this blue background? What's going on? Like, what is this? What is this? What is this blue in the Series 1 art? Never seen that before. Interesting choice. Let me see what wallet I have called up. Let's go here. So once you're connected, you can go to the token ID checker and you can just type in whatever token ID and check whether or not it's been claimed. It's not eligible for a claim. There is not a, well, actually, I wonder if, okay, now we're just getting exploratory. I hope nobody minds. Let me check if there's any questions. Do I know how many have not been claimed? Yeah, let me see if I can check right now, G. Miller. Let me see. So this is bookgames.info. This is not an official VeeFriends tool, nor is this a paid sponsorship. This is like, I think, $20 or something to, there's a bunch of my emails. Please don't spam me. So here you see a lot of resources and stats. This was primarily built out for book games, but I feel like here, Series 2, I know Wade was working on this, but I'm not sure that it got completed. Okay, so it looks pretty good. So here you can even see the metadata for ones that have not been revealed. So if I wanted to know which ones had not been minted, I would go to these. So there are over 1,000 Series 1 NFTs that have not been minted. So any of these, now see the real alpha, and I shared this with some folks a while back, like the Hollow Zombie hasn't minted their Series 2. That's kind of crazy. See, what I would be really interested in, and I don't mean to drive speculation or cause some crazy wrapped offers. I guess this would be alpha. But for example, where is it? This one. No, that's hologram. So I was wondering, is there a hollow house? Really? Hollow Patient Panda hasn't minted yet? Are some of these Gary's? No, Gary doesn't have the hollow panda. I'm pretty surprised by this, to be honest. But I was gonna say, like, like the hologram house, like a super rare scene, like Synesthesium. Like this is a rare scene, right? So these Series 1, I don't know whether they've done it intentionally or not. What you'd have to do is go to OpenSea or wherever you trade NFTs, and basically just one by one say, like, okay, let's say in an ideal world, personally, I think I'd go for Kind Kudu. I do love Ponder it from all angles. So I'm gonna check 7397. I should just be able to type this in here. And let me also add, wait, edition 1 of 1. Hold on. Does that not work? There we go. Thank you. So this person, I don't know, do they have a trading option? They don't have any contact information here, but they have yet to claim their Series 2, and I don't know what the current premium is on. It doesn't look like anybody knows that there's a premium for this, but like, this scene is rare. It looks like all the hollow houses have been claimed. Let me see. I'm checking. Do you think VF2 spec will have a background in some moment? Nah, not really. Cameron says it's on the contract. Cameron, what contract do you mean? It's on the contract. I'm not sure what you mean, Cameron. I'd love a little clarification. So, like, even 59 gift codes have been claimed, and also be aware that not Cam, Wade is scraping data from, I believe, OpenSea. So it's possible that some of these numbers are off. But like Icy Ice Cave is another one that's like a limited, like there's an Icy Ice Cave heart pick, for example. So like you're gonna end up paying a premium for the heart pick. It might not be worth it, but a character like, yeah, like Shrewd Sheep or even Peace Salad, Likeable Leopard, you might be able to get lucky with a wrapped offer, still get the Series 2, and that person may not know that their Series 2 is going to be a rare one. What other? Passionate Pitch has 16 remaining. Rainbow Planet. This Arbitraging Admiral. See, because the token ID is 635, it's going to come up with a bunch of them. But what's that? Why is it getting the OG buyer? No, I don't want that. I just want this token ID. Really? There it is. So, wow, somebody bought this at the peak. Yep, it was that night, 23.23. Wow. So, might have a hard time getting that one from them. This is fun. Hold on, let's see what else is here. Spaceship is a little rare. Underrated Underworld. 13. Wine Cellar's got another 12. So yeah, I believe this aspect of it is free. I do have an account with them, so I don't know if this is publicly available on bookgames.info, but I believe that it is. It's just bookgames.info. Yeah, fun little tangent there. So let me get this for folks. What's up, David? Good to see you. I don't know why my paste doesn't work. That's so annoying. Okay, coming back to it. VeeFriends lost the Macy's vote. This is Miami, Scope Art. Nice picture of Gary. This is a fun description of why they released these the secondary collections. Hunter asks, why do you think Gary dropped version 1 book games in series 2 all within such a short time frame? Just curious what your thoughts are. And he came in and he said, book games was such a fun execution for a book launch and an opportunity to learn layer 2. Series 2 allowed for me to create the look and feel we will build the IP on and get more people into the universe. At least that's my guess, which was fun. A little retweet. Let me go back to there was something I thought I was. There's something I feel very clearly that I'm forgetting, but I don't know what it was. So that's fun. If there's something that folks have a question about, please drop it. I think we're almost ready to record the podcast. We'll see. We got 12 people in the room. Good to see everybody. There's definitely something I'm forgetting. Hold on. We're gonna scour. So I guess I could show you this. Let me stop sharing my screen. So this is basically how I keep up with VeeFriends. Obviously, I do this as I go, so it's not always crazy. But I basically, like there's the Gary Vee message tracker up here. And that will give you a flow of what it is, and you can just click and it'll take you to the message. But what I tend to do is I just search Gary's name, and then it will call up all the messages that he has in the server. Occasionally, I'll look for other team members as well. There are, I guess, a couple new features. Oh yeah, I should mention tech updates. So, where's tech updates? Tech updates, claim the tester role. So if you want to be a tester, you need to hit this React bot if you want to play with the early tech. So there's that. Let me see. It's talking about Chat GPT. Yeah. So this is cool. So this is also a Twitter thread that I shared. I guess it's not calling up for you because I'm sharing Discord, but there was a comparison that it took Netflix 41 months, almost 4 years, to hit 1 million users. It took Facebook just shy of a year and Instagram 2.5 months. ChatGPT, this AI copywriter that I was showing you earlier, hit 1 million users in 5 days, which is pretty remarkable. And there was a breakdown here, and I'll just go ahead and link this thread. Talking about various use cases, generating code, tracking fitness, debugging code, using it as a personal assistant, creating a marketing plan, virtual machine, and so much more. So if you're interested in that, I will leave it here. Cool. Come back to Discord. This is interesting having the Twitter chat here. I guess more places is better. Hey, what's up, Fish Crypto? Good to see you on Twitch. Yeah, you're very welcome. I haven't been getting to the podcast as frequently because we've been doing the GM spaces. I guess I should also talk about the GM spaces. GM VeeFriends is talking to Matt Mancaves, who is the guy who created the the physical arcade game for the VeeFriends minigame, the Journey with Gary B, which is very cool. Let me add that to IP stuff. And we also had a coloring page. Oh, where should I put this? Let's put this here. Things we're looking forward to. Snoop Dogg. Day 1 follows. Merch runs a little large. Oh, right. Merch alpha. So, number one, lower cost hoodie in the new year. Hats in the spring, for sure. Maybe a second run, maybe an earlier run of hats with an unnamed startup in Q1. We're also looking forward to VeeCon tickets in Q1. You notice there's a lot of stuff going on in VeeFriends because I have, like, I'm sure there's a ton that I'm missing. That's why I really want to get on the rhythm of doing this daily. It's a lot easier to, or yeah, a lot harder to miss stuff, a lot easier not to miss stuff. I'm gonna sneeze. Talking about apparel. Announcements in the next 20 days. Cool. So Snoop Dogg. I know I'm working on a different screen. I'm gonna see if Fly Fish Club. Fly Fish Club announced their venue. Yep, here it is. What part of town is this? Let me see. Do you guys have? The mic is. Wait, really? Have I been talking to the wrong mic? Can you guys still hear me? Is that better quality? Sorry about that. Let me see. I just want to see what part of town is this? East of Soho, Lower East Side. But do we have a lot of information? I love it when the message is deleted. I'm like, oh, what was that? Ran and Gary chopping it up about IP per usual. I guess the other thing I can add here is I think I can go back to the screen now. Do they have? Great. It's amazing how quickly I can rack up tabs. Okay. If I forgot something at this point, I think it's just going to have to be found later. Let me close. I think honestly I can close all of this. Let me see if I missed anything in the roundup. Mint Minx have a collaboration with MTG Pass. I don't even know where to put this. Hey, Quiet Storm. Oh, and the Rare Robot. And Promises of Promise. What is the verdict here? So this all happened, but I don't think we got a report on. Last year it was 20K, which is amazing. Plus a go. But I guess they don't really have an update. So maybe that's done. Okay. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. Hey, what's up, Twitch? You missed a couple points. You sent it on Twitter. Let me check it out. Oh, that's right. That's right. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Good call out. So here I missed Authentic Anaconda, Honda, and the standard, the classic, I guess. Plus Gary teased backpacks and kid sizes coming soon. Who knows? Thank you, Drew, for that. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. One sec. Just checking Twitter to make sure I didn't miss anything. I know this is not the most thrilling live stream we've ever seen, but like I said, this is a little bit of a watch me work. I'm going to record the podcast here in a minute. Okay, cool. I think we're ready. Let me get back into the Twitter live stream in case anybody comments. With our massive 2 listeners, let's go. Oh, because I left, I can't see the previous. If people commented while I was gone, I can't see it. That's interesting. Good to know. Got you. Okay, that's good to know. Thanks for the sound check. Okay, this is gonna be a mouthful. Here we go. Maybe I can re-up my coffee. Deep breath and value. Okay, let's go. Good morning, my V friends, and welcome back to the Jeremy Knows podcast, where VCon never ends. I'm your host, Jeremy, Heart Trooper number 7, and I have a massive update of all things that have gone on in VeeFriends for you. So keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle at all times, strap in, and get ready for an info dump, because there's some things you need to know, some other things you might want to know, and a lot of things we're looking forward to on the horizon. So I'll give you a bit of a preview because I have about 2 pages of notes, and I'm just going to link this Google Doc that I'm tracking as the outline for this podcast in the show notes, because it won't fit natively in the text box. So a lot of the links will be in this Google Drive, Google Doc. So here's a preview. Slight update on Snoop Dogg. Still waiting on all the details. Another 3 collaborations from VeeFriends looking forward to possibly before the end of the year. The deadline to claim book games and VeeFriends Series 2 Evolving Pose fastly approaches. Got a couple new IP rollouts. Miami Art Week was massive. VCon is coming up sooner than you think, and you can apply to be a speaker right now. VeeFriends lost the Macy's Day Parade vote, but there's really nothing to say. We lost. We tried. We lost. We would live to fight again. The fall and winter apparel for VeeFriends was released. Some interesting alpha in that regard. New tech products were tested this week in the VeeFriends Discord, and so much more. So thanks for tuning into the podcast. I hope you've had a wonderful week, and let's fucking go. So Gary came into the Discord the other day to said that there are a lot of exciting announcements coming over the next 20 days. I know that over the next couple of weeks, a lot of people are going to tap out for the holidays and snuggle in with their loved ones and enjoy a little bit of reprieve from the pace of the space. But it looks like VeeFriends has a slate of things in the pipeline. First of which I think is getting a Snoop Dogg announcement before December 21st. That's the official start of winter. And given that originally Gary said this would be a spring, fall announcement, I think they're really wanting to land that sometime in the next 10 days. What we do know about Snoop Dogg is the following: that originally the announcement was delayed because there was an innovation that happened on the tech side that allowed them to go with their number 1 option for the project instead of number 2, which was in development. And secondly, that Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre have been working on an album which has been taking up a lot of Snoop Dogg's time. I'm recording this on December 11th. Yesterday, December 10th, Gary shared in the Discord that there was a call that he was expecting to have with Snoop Dogg. So we presume that happened. And there were also meetings that happened last week in Miami about the timing and coordination, final details of this announcement. I will remind you, whether they announce this, tomorrow, next week, whatever, the project itself will not roll out until the new year, 2023. I'm anticipating like a late February, just because I'm hopeful that this Snoop Dogg project will land sort of concurrently with the VCon Ticket 2023 airdrop, which we don't have a specific date for, but is slated for Q1. Some other things we're looking forward to: Squishmallows, which is the collectible pillow company, announced a collaboration after VCon. And as far as we know, that is still slated for late fall, winter. So it might not land for Christmas, which was what I kind of anticipated would have been the case, but that's still in the pipeline. Day One, which is an accelerator and incubator program that Gary has invested in, teased a collaboration with VeeFriends. They've received capital from Gary. They're definitely working closely, and recently they offered a specific track with extra access and involvement to Gary V. That was maybe in the last month or so, but they specifically announced that this was a VeeFriends collaboration. So no details on it yet. I have to wonder. I think the most obvious character connection would be the entrepreneur elf. So I wonder if there's maybe going to be some overlap there, maybe discounted access to their courses on business development if you hold one of those characters. That's just speculation, but Day One collab is coming. As I said, book games and Series 2 Evolving Pose deadline is December 31st. So I've seen a little bit of confusion about who's eligible to claim book games and Series 2. So let's break it down. You're only eligible to claim free book game tokens if you previously purchased 12 of Gary's last book, 12 and a half, in the 24-hour window where that promo was available. That was in August of 2021. So folks have had nearly a year to claim these tokens, and I imagine most will have done so, but there are still many unclaimed. So those that are unclaimed will be taken into custody by VeeFriends, and they have yet to tell us what they will do with them. So if you've been holding out for one reason or another, please don't forget to do that. You will need to use the wallet that you used when verifying your book purchases through the Google form originally, and you'll need to set up an IMX Layer 2 wallet on that account, authorize the key. You can do that on tokentrove.com or in the Immutable X marketplace, and make sure you have that set up before you go to claim your tokens. Otherwise, you'll get an error. Secondly, for the Evolving Pose, this is for Series 1 holders. You'll remember back in April when this all launched, that Series 1 were able to claim the limited edition Evolving Pose only for that Series 1 collection. There are over 1,000, or actually, I don't know how accurate. There's nearly 1,000 Evolving Poses that haven't been claimed. So if you pick up a VeeFriend on the open market that has yet to mint its Evolving Pose, you get a 2-for-1 deal. And the deadline is the same. It'll be 11:59 p.m. Eastern time on December 31st. So that's 20 days from now. I know many people, myself included, have yet to mint their Evolving Pose. So please don't forget, and please don't wait until the last minute. You might run into a tech issue. You don't want to be in a situation where it's the last day and then you can't get a hold of someone at the team. If you are experiencing tech issues, you can always go into the VeeFriends Discord and open up a support ticket. At the bottom of the channel list, you'll see support tickets. Create a new ticket that will create a dedicated private channel for you and the VeeFriends moderators to solve whatever problem you're having, whether it's this or something else. Corso and Daniel are there to support you, so please use that resource. I will also leave a link in the Google Doc with the token checker if you want to check whether or not a Series 1 has an available Series 2. Be aware that in order to use the token checker, you will need to connect a wallet. So just make sure you're on the right site. It's going to be Series 2, VeeFriends.com/claim/Series 1. So, man, there's so much fun stuff going on in VeeFriends, and I'm very curious where things will happen next. So let's talk about IP and some details that have emerged over the last week and a half. You may have heard that there are VeeFriends fortune cookies circulating. We were able to have these at our VeeFriends Takeover event. They were at the House of WoW event yesterday. VeeFriends has been bringing them to different activations, like at DesignerCon. And these are regular fortune cookies, but within is a featured character with a VeeFriend and a QR code that takes you to a website that says, you have the good fortune of being introduced to VeeFriends, with a little blurb about what the project is, an embedded link to all of the 3D animated skits that were released with the Macy's toys, and then a link into the Discord. So I'd be very curious to see numbers on how many people are actually onboarded into the Discord through these fortune cookies. But one thing I wanted to highlight for you is because they were released concurrently with Macy's, I kind of presumed it was the Macy's characters. But as I've seen more posted on Twitter and opened some myself, there are many more characters within them beyond the 10 in Macy's. So I can't confirm how many characters are involved. I do feel like it's not every character, but it's pretty fun. Actually, I wonder, do I have one with me? I opened up a fortune cookie yesterday. Next podcast, I'll read you a fortune. Also in the realm of IP, we have the VeeFriends Forthright Flamingo Vintage Frames collab. So you probably saw this. This was released during Miami Art Week, and the packaging is very high tier. I'm opening it up right now. There's sort of this like multicolor. What is it? What is this like? It's not translucent. It's this multicolor thing that kind of matches the frames in a gold case. And a couple things that I notice about this. Not only is this a high quality frame, but also there's a new monogram that VeeFriends is using. Typically, when we see the VeeFriends logo, we see VEE Friends. And what the hell is going on? I'm trying to open this and making a fool of myself. They're in this bag, and I poked a hole in the bag when I was taking them out, and they got stuck. But now they're free, and voila. So if you're watching this on YouTube or Twitter, here they are. They're really slick. And you can see the monogram I'm talking about in the corner of the glasses. It's also on the box here. It still features the black cat, but I just find it interesting that they're playing with different graphics in the way that they're expressing VeeFriends. The straight line of the F is actually now diagonal alongside the V. And I think in the background, I'm also noticing these details because we've seen over time the VeeFriends team expand quite dramatically. So back in May, when VCon was taking place, the VeeFriends team was 15 or less. At this point, before the end of the year, December 11th, there are 50 people on the VeeFriends team that are comprised of the new events division, the collectibles division, the apparel division, obviously the operators, the community managers, the Discord managers, and folks that I'm unaware of as well. So just interesting to see those details coming forward. Also at DesignerCon, Matt Man Cave Arcades made a physical arcade of the Journey to Gary B. So I don't think that this is going to be made widely available. This was sort of like a unique activation for DesignerCon, but it was very cool, small, like tabletop arcade game with the standard like arcade 80s arcade looking buttons that you could play the Journey with Gary B Series 2 pre-reveal game on. We're actually going to be having Matt on the GM Spaces tomorrow, December 12th at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So we're going to be interviewing him about his process, working with VeeFriends, what he does, etc. So if you want to check that out, the replay will be available on my Twitter. But again, more and more ways we're seeing VeeFriends take what started as an entirely digital intellectual property and making it physical. We saw a similar thing just yesterday at the House of WoW event. House of WoW is a event space by Pure WoW, which is a women's publishing company under the umbrella of Gallery Media Group, which is owned by VaynerX in collaboration with Cogent. And so they have this event space. They were doing a trading cards event yesterday. So VeeFriends had a setup. The Heart Trooper mascot was there. Again, taking digital identities, making them physical and real, handing out cards, opening packs, playing the game with kids. It was very much a children-centric event. But one thing that was new there is they had coloring pages. They had the Rare Robot inviting kids to create a VeeFriend character of their own. I asked Adam Rips, how long until we see a VeeFriends coloring book? And in true Gary VeeFriends fashion, he said, well, all in good time. I do think a VeeFriends coloring book is inevitable. Whether or not it's like actively in development or coming soon, I can't really say. But I do think that those coloring pages were super accessible for the kids. And you started to have kids come up that were fascinated in what was going on simply for that activity. And I even saw a couple kids that were aware of VeeFriends just because of the cards, having no idea about the attributes that are being presented or the underlying NFTs from which they emerge. So also really cool. Lastly, in the IP realm, at least for now, we had the Rare Robot Red Blend release. This was the third Empathy Wines release. That sale is now over. but it was the first bottle to feature Series 2 art, and it actually featured the evolving pose. So there was a little bit of alpha that came out of the live stream when asked about why the evolving pose was chosen for the bottle art. Gary said, in not so many words, evolving pose is the one. And, they've toyed around with ideas of having some kind of added utility because you have the Series 1 and the matching Series 2. But either way, like, the story that it underlies the evolving pose that they seem to be teasing out now is the pose. Take that as you will. It's fun. It's fun actually asking Gary these questions, because more and more he's having to caveat, like, I don't want to drive speculation. Like, don't go and run this, run and buy this based on a word, but these things matter. Something similar happened at the Miami Art Week activations. I'll sort of transition into that now. Gary shared a story that someone had asked him, what is his VeeFriends spirit animal? I shared this clip on Twitter, and he said, with the improv in the moment, he said competitive clown, and that had surprised him. But that just like tenacity and patience and kindness, competitiveness is very, very important and requires balance like anything else. And we're seeing through the Compete and Collect card activation, we're going to be getting Compete and Collect game boards at some point, as well as second and third edition expansions of the game. Gary wants to educate the world on his version of competition, that it is a healthy thing to be competitive. But after sharing that, he said, if you really, really ask me, like, which VeeFriend is my spirit animal, given some time to think about it, it might be intuition, the intuitive iguana. And again, I don't tell you this to drive speculation on that character. I think it's just interesting for us in the VeeFriends community, as VeeFriends holders and fans, to be aware of what has the founders focus, because obviously it's not just Gary. There's, like I said, there's 50 other people who are running this project, but whatever is front of mind for him is all obviously going to trickle down into the culture of the entire company. It wasn't that long ago that optimistic otter was something that kind of flagged. He was like, I need to put more time into that. And then a couple weeks later, we saw an animated song with the optimistic otter. So while these things don't always play out in a one-to-one fashion, they do sort of ripple out and influence. So intuitive iguana may be seeing a little bit more of a spotlight soon. And we've already seen a voice for the intuitive iguana. It kind of has, I don't know how to describe it, but besides like a stoner voice, like maybe Rasta is more accurate, but it's like this, like, yeah, man, I know, I just believe in what I feel. Like, I have this feeling and I just know it's VCon is going to be in 2023. So I want to actually like put a footnote on that as well. So I was in Miami. I got to go to the VeeFriends Takeover event, which was really remarkable. I want to do a podcast just about that and give a big thanks to everybody who made it possible and all the sponsors. I went to the Vintage Frames opening and I spoke to Gary, bought some glasses myself. I went to the Epic Art event, was able to do a live stream from there and capture some content. And I also went to the Scope event, which was sort of the evening after party. And at the morning event, at the new release of the Vintage Frame shop, I did a short interview with Gary. You can find it on my Twitter. And he shared a bit of alpha about how his approach to character development in 2023 is going to evolve, no pun intended. He said that as they've been releasing these skits and songs and content, they've been testing different versions of characters and how they might interact in the world. But the voice or the mannerisms of the intuitive iguana or the common sense cow or the aspiring alpaca or the patient panda or the chill chinchilla or any of them is not set in stone. They're still in the testing phase. And yet he said in 2023, he plans to go dark for a number of weeks and really start to plant the flag and say, this is the bullish bull. This is the heart trooper, the voice of the heart trooper. And I quickly joked with him. I'm like, me? Like, I'm going to be the voice? And he actually said maybe. which is beside the point. The point being that we're still in the first inning, but I don't know, maybe we have some players on the bases. We might be looking at sort of the first points on the board of saying, like, this is the kind warrior, this is where they come from, this is how they behave, this is their voice, or something more tangible in terms of backstory and character intellectual property. So more sort of details from Miami. With the Epic Art class, I thought it was really well done. Check-in took a little bit of time because they did kind of a mix of token proof and a manual setup. But when you came in, they gave you some numbers to eventually mint your art and a gift card with money to buy food and drink. So they first gave everybody 30 and then they gave them a second card. So $60 for food and drinks was amazing. I think everybody had a really great time. The food there was nice. Coffee ahead of time was cool. Then there was a 30-minute chat with Gary and Swan Sit. Swan did a great job of kind of like laying a retrospective of like what's been done from, the art going to Christie, the physical art being sold at Christie's for $1.2 million to now toys of 6 VeeFriends characters in stores all across America in Toys R Us, to what's going on now with the development of the IP. And that really ended on a high note with a drive toward the attributes themselves. Like, how important are these attributes? And I know we've heard it a lot, but I have to give credit to Gary for being consistent here in saying the attributes are everything. They are sort of like the fundamental fabric that will make this IP matter. And obviously it's not just one thing. The community is a significant glue holding this together as well. But it was fun to see him just get a little bit emotional, talking about like what it may mean in a long term, making these emotional skills more dominant in the cultural zeitgeist, teaching kids accountability from an early age. Like, still, Accountable Ant does not get the respect it deserves, even though it's maybe the rarest card in the entire Compete and Collect card series. And shoot, I forgot there was something else. It'll come back to me. There was a short AMA that followed that. Some people asked questions about VCon. Gary talked about how VCon is going to be more business focused. They've solved some of the issues of the large walk to various things. I think they're probably going to have larger side stages with more access there, making little tweaks, whether it's queuing systems or how physically things are oriented around and scheduled, so that there's less friction to get to the real meat and potatoes of VCon, which is everybody kind of having that summer camp feel, making connections, reuniting, and all of the rest. So looking forward to that. No real juicy details on VCon just yet. They haven't announced how many of the previous year's partners are going to be coming back, but I would imagine Coinbase and Rally and maybe even Chipotle are probably going to be doing that. As a little reminder, if you went to VCon, Chipotle did offer a free gift card that you had to claim by email. I think that also expires at the end of the year. I literally just remembered this, and I'm going to have to search my email to find it. When I do, I'll make sure to post it on Twitter and leave it in the next podcast. But I'm going on holiday in 4 days. I'm spending Christmas with my family in Argentina. I won't have cell reception. I'm not sure how active I'll be. So I really wanted to get as much information here as possible, but keep an eye out for that Chipotle thing, because who doesn't like free Chipotle? Circling back onto VCon, as I said, the satellite event submission and the speaker form application is currently open. So those links are in the Google Doc, which I'll put in the show notes. Shoot your shot. There is a team that is reviewing all of those speaker applications. So if you have something of value to offer, or even if you think you're maybe not quite ready, but it would be like a reach or a level up from you, there's no harm in submitting this year with what is your best foot forward, not getting selected, and then submitting next year, and then having that team be like, oh, I kind of vaguely remember this. We were teetering yes or no. We went no. And this year, why don't we give them a shot? Gary also said at the Epic event that he wants to see the community have more of a presence at VCon. That's part of why they decided to turn it from 4 to 3 days. Sunday is going to be completely open for community events. And he specifically called out the takeover team for what they had done. So I'm really looking forward to that as well. And it's nice to see a little acknowledgement and support from the project in that regard. I don't have a ton to say about the VaynerX Activation V at Scope. It was a blast. It was like a massive party. I wasn't familiar with the DJ, but it seemed to be pretty hyped up. Earlier in the day, there were activations with 1:37 p.m. and Axe Body Spray. Gary did a talk with the mayor of Miami. There were other panels hosted. It seemed there was beautiful art everywhere you looked, like physical, digital, big mural stuff. It was just a blast. I don't have too much to say because I just talked to a lot of people. I got to connect with folks from the G Money community, like from Courtyard, from VeeFriends, from Bored Apes. Like, it was a really great like intermingling of a lot of communities, and I just personally enjoyed the party. So hope that doesn't drive you too much FOMO, but maybe come out to another NFT event sometime. And actually, speaking of, I know that Chris Jordan put out a tweet. I'm going to find it really quick because this is good information for everybody to have. I know not everybody can make it to the in-person events, but it really does go a long way to cement relationships and make this all feel very real. And so here are a handful of events. I'm sure this is non-exhaustive, but these are some of the major events happening in the new year until VCon. So from mid-February, February 24th and 25th is NFT Paris. Same time, ETH Denver is going on from February 24th to March 5th, Denver, Colorado. South by Southwest is happening March 10th to the 19th. Then in LA, March 20th to the 23rd is NFT LA. Following that will be NFT NYC in New York City, April 12th to the 14th, followed by the Proof Conference, May 11th to the 13th, which I believe is also in LA. And then VCon will be May 18th to the 20th in Indianapolis, Indiana. So hopefully some of those events are more accessible to you, maybe a drive instead of a flight. But and maybe it's not this year that you can do it, but I personally have made a priority to go to as many of these events as possible. And it's always been like not even a consideration of whether or not it was worth it, because just like the bonds and the experiences are super powerful. So I don't mean to get on a soapbox about it, but I think a lot of people had a really great time, and I think you would as well. So we already talked about House of WoW by Pure WoW, the children-centric event. There were a lot of fun things going on there. There were ripping packs, giving packs to kids. They actually had a grading company doing free pre-grades on site. That was very cool. I wish I could report to you that we won the Macy's Day Parade vote, but we did not. We ended in 4th. But I did see a tweet from VeeFriends that we had the most unique public votes and holder votes submitted. So VeeFriends decided to have their weighted votes go to the Series 2 collection, and a lot of people were hesitant to vote because it required that wallet connection. That said, of the people that did vote from various communities, VeeFriends reported that the VeeFriends community showed up in unique individual voters more than any other project. So that's definitely something to be proud of. And although we won't have an IRL balloon at the next Macy's Day Parade, it is still the first inning, and there's plenty of opportunity to go. Obviously, VeeFriends has a tight relationship with Macy's after this Toys R Us rollout. And I think, to be fair, it's only a matter of time before we see the very, 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 very lucky black cat flying over Fifth Avenue with all the other Macy's Day Parade floats. So I'm going to break up the recording, give a moment. We're going to talk about Wallet Connection, the new tech at VeeFriends, and the winter apparel line that was just released. So stick around. Woo, that was a mouthful. What's going on, everybody? 2 folks on Twitter. Love to see it. Love to see it. All right. No, not feeling very chatty, but I appreciate the 12 folks on Twitch. Thanks for being here. All right. So pressing forward, there is a new channel in the VeeFriends Discord. It is called Tech Updates. It's just below announcements. And if you want to participate in any of the tech rollouts that are happening from VeeFriends, I will encourage you to go to this channel, scroll up to the post on December the 6th at 10 p.m. and react to the Dinobot message. This is a self-claim role. We'll give you tester, and that you will get pinged every time there is something going on. So VeeFriends is testing a new VeeFriends sign-in feature called VeeFriends Auth, and it is currently live on this testnet. It involves signing up with an email, registering your name, whether or not you'd like to receive email and or text message updates. So that's a big update for them to be doing text messages. And lastly, you can connect a hot software wallet or a cold storage hardware wallet. So if you are connecting a software wallet, the process is the same as it's been before. You'll be asked to connect your wallet with a gasless signature. You confirm, and voila, your wallet is now tied into your account. So instead of signing in with your wallet, you can sign in with your email and still get the benefits of your wallet that is connected. Now, for the cold storage wallet, they are using a different feature, which was actually pioneered by Jacob Brown, who's a member in the community, in his Flex app. So his Flex Tech sort of introduced a option for the VeeFriends team that they then proceeded to build in-house, which is very similar to what we've seen the traditional banking industry do with microtransactions. And the way that this works is, on Plaid, for example, if you connect your bank account, they'll send you 1 to 5 cents, and then you'll confirm what that value was to verify that that's your bank account. This sort of happens in the reverse. So when you go to connect your cold wallet through this format, instead of connecting the wallet to the site, all you have to do is have access to your wallet, and they give you a string of a 14-digit ETH amount. So 0.0000004512 or whatever it might be, randomly generated for your specific verification, and a wallet address to send that amount to. And by the virtue that you can send that exact string to that exact wallet in a given time frame, they can verify that you have control of that wallet. And so thereby connecting that wallet address to your account based on the provenance that you can make that transaction. So going forward, they don't need to connect to your cold storage wallet to verify if you have a Series 1 or a Scene or a Series 2 or whatever. They can just read the public ledger of the blockchain and see the assets in your wallet. So this is it's not exactly a innovation in technology, but it is a novel use of the ledger of the blockchain as it exists, and it provides a very important new layer of security for everyone using a ledger or other hardware wallet. If you've yet to buy or set up your ledger, I would highly encourage you to do so. It doesn't need to be Ledger. That's what I use. I'm not sponsored by them or anything. It's just cheap. It's like $150. If you have more than $100 or $200 in crypto or NFTs, I would highly, highly, highly encourage you to get educated and purchase a hardware wallet. As a sidebar, Ledger did release a new Ledger wallet that actually has touchscreen features, which is going to be much more easy to use, especially for people who are actively trading crypto. So I would encourage you to look into that and see what the new features are. It's like $280 versus $150 for the Ledger Nano X. If you already have a Ledger like me, I'm not planning to upgrade because it's not necessary. I'm not doing a lot of trading, but they partnered with the person who helped design the original iTouch to create this sort of touch screen. You can like put an NFT on the face of it. It's very cool. But whether it's that newest Ledger, Nano X, or some other company, please do make sure that you have security protocols in place and you're taking the appropriate measures to ensure that your assets are safe. And it's very bullish that VeeFriends built this technology and is using a no wallet connect micro transaction verification method for people's hardware wallets. So shout out to the tech team for that. And again, if you want to be involved in further tech updates, whether it's Meet.VeeFriends or the other 2, possibly 3 tech products that they have teased, you'll need to go to the tech updates channel, scroll up to this post from December 6th, and claim the tester role by hitting the tools emoji in the Dinobot message. So with that being said, let's talk about the merch. I saw a lot of mixed takes on the merch. It does seem that this year's fall and winter apparel line is a higher quality than last year's, which by many reviews sort of like rode high on the neck and wasn't the most comfy thing. It does seem that they're using a higher quality fabric similar to what they use for the Kim Shui drop. And not all the hoodies, but a lot of them are actually embroidered. So higher quality overall, but the price point also reflects that. So I think shirts were like $44, $50, hoodies $98 to $104 if you got the embroidery. A lot of people were priced out and complaining about the price. And I think it's notable during the live stream where the team was showing off a lot of these looks and Gary was also on stream and talking about the collection. Ben O, who is the lead on VeeFriends Apparel, made a point to say this is not a merch drop, but an actual apparel release, which is not a distinction that I had considered before, but sort of made the case that if you look at other high quality brands like Kith, like Supreme, that these price points are actually in line with what that is. To which Gary chimed in and was like, obviously those brands have earned the cool factor and the price premium, and VeeFriends maybe isn't quite there yet, but they're acting as if. And I think, returning to the mixed reviews from the community, for a lot of things we see from VeeFriends, token holders receive a benefit, whether it's a discount, priority, freebie, or otherwise. And there was nothing of the sort for this drop, which is the same as last year, but doesn't mean that people didn't want it. What they did offer was a 10-minute head start window, and I don't know how many people use that, but I think they heard loud and clear that a 10-minute window head start is not exactly what they want, not exactly what holders want. And a couple of things came out of that. There was a nice conversation in the Discord, which led Gary to ask Ben to work on a lower cost hoodie in the range of like $50 that can come out early Q1 before their spring apparel release. And also discussion about other merch options and sort of like playing the field of like high quality versus easy access. I even asked Gary in the Discord if they were considering doing some kind of on-demand solution so that I could pay a premium but get merch with my NFTs on it. And he said, kind of in the way that he does, he affirmed the idea, said that they've considered it, and that, someday it'll come. So looking forward to that. One more detail about the merch release before I get into which characters were featured and what products were available. They offered the friends and family shirt that we've seen on some various influencers. It features the lucky black cat in the center in the Series 1 version, surrounded by a lot of Series 2 character art. So if you purchased anything from the shop.VeeFriends fall winter apparel fall winter apparel release, you got a free t-shirt if you were in the first 555 orders. Now, a little interesting data point here. It took 5 hours to reach that 555 order threshold. If you're unsure whether or not you were in that range, you would have already received an email confirming that you received it. And a lot of these orders have already started to ship. So if you ordered day one, you most likely, for sure, I think I can say for sure domestically, international will be different. But for sure domestically, I think we'll receive before the holidays. So that's really great. And yeah, I guess it's notable to me, like a bull market sale is different than a bear market sale. I think last year, we saw an instant sellout of the Lucky Cat hoodies, and really almost every vertical of the hoodies sold out within a number of hours. This was very different. They did also produce more units for this. although we don't have the exact number, Gary said that they did produce more sort of in response to last year's demand, but this year's demand is not last year's demand, and this year's market is not last year's market. So the appetite for this was definitely lower across the board. A lot of people wanting to get in, but feeling the prices were too high. But nonetheless, I'm sure that there was a lot of merchandise sold. So what did they have on sale? They featured 6 variations, 5 character-based, and 4 different types of merch. They had the classic VeeFriends, just the logo, the authentic anaconda, the selfless sloth, the competitive clown, the grateful gar, and everybody's favorite, the patient panda, in 4 variations: the pullover hoodie, the long sleeve t-shirt, the short sleeve t-shirt, and the sweatpant. So first time we're seeing long sleeves and sweatpants. I guess we had a long sleeve at VCon, but first time in this apparel set. That's very cool. I personally picked up a pair of competitive clown sweatpants because how could I not? Shout out to Kowski who made that possible. And take a look at the design, see what you think. VeeFriends is taking their apparel very seriously. If you're not aware, there is an entire Instagram page dedicated to VeeFriends apparel. It's on Instagram called VeeFriends Apparel. And, that photography style and that content is relatively different than the main flow. And when I got to chat with Ben, it was just a matter of there's a lot of this that's going to roll out over time for various industries, various verticals, like from glasses to the hoodies we've seen to the Reebok shoes that are coming. And so they wanted to make a dedicated page. They're taking this very seriously and looking to do high quality stuff, premium stuff. So be aware if you're buying it that the merch does run a little large. It is 100% cotton, so it should shrink if you wash it on warm. But that's that. So a little bit of alpha, some other details regarding this I think are fun. When Gary originally drew the Series 1 characters, he wasn't consistent in the physical artwork, whether or not he wrote the name of the character on the page or not. You've seen this in a lot of instances. On the artwork, it says, "You're going to die fly," or patient panda, whereas like the authentic anaconda doesn't have the name written out. And for the patient panda hoodie, different than the tee, you can see it based on the placement of the dot on the eye. And I know, trust me, I know this is like the nerdiest shit. This is like exactly the kind of thing that only Jeremy knows, and it doesn't affect your bags and it doesn't affect the quality of the merch or anything, but it is a fun detail that the placement of the dot for the eye in patient is different on the long sleeve versus the hoodie, because on the long sleeve, they emulated the font that Gary wrote in, but on the hoodie, they actually pulled the exact writing from the original Series 1 artwork. So when Gary V wrote it, he placed that dot more over the E, and it's his handwriting pulled from the actual original art. So I personally think that's very cool. That's a fun little detail. They had a similar dynamic go on in the first year's fall winter collab. So is what it is. But I had to share it because it is the nerdy thing that you will only get here at Jeremy Knows. We did ask in the live chat when hats. And finally, Gary V answered. If you haven't seen, there's been these snapback hats with the Series 2 artwork in a patch form on the face of it. And I think a lot of people want them. A lot of people like hats. Gary confirmed that there are actually 2 hat collabs in the works. One is coming in the spring, something they've been working on for a little while. And the second one, which I believe is this patch snapback hat that we've seen, is actually being made by an unnamed startup that he called out during the live stream. And they're looking to get that released before their spring hat release. So it looks like multiple kinds of hats are coming to VeeFriends. As I said, there's a lower cost hoodie that's coming after the new year. And lastly, Gary teased both backpacks and kid sizes for VeeFriends apparel coming soon. His answer was kind of like, I don't want to say too much, but maybe that look alone can kind of like indicate where things are going. So in a world where everything is going to be tried in VeeFriends, it looks like some kids-based apparel is on the short list. So a couple more things here at the end of the document, some notes from Discord. I wanted to draw attention to the Mint Mink. Mint Mink's got a new announcement today for an MNTG e-pass. This is by Nick Adler, Sean Wotherspoon, and Brennan Rousseau. It is a digital wearables brand built around vintage clothing. Mint Minks have a allow list for it. You can check the details in the Mint Mink blog, what the Mint Mink's new superpower blog. Also, we got a first look at the Galaxy Fight Club, or not a first look, a final look at the Galaxy the Galaxy Fluffy Club, the Galaxy. Okay, I'm done. The Galaxy Fight Club cross IP PvP blockchain game featuring the Mint Mink has been airdropped to Series 1 and Series 2 holders. Series 1 got a legendary version. Series 2 got an uncommon version. The Mint Mink definitely has like a sort of scowl, like they're ready to fight, a little hardened mink action. So that's been airdropped. You can check that out in the collection or on Twitter. It's very, very cool. I haven't personally played Galaxy Fight Club, but all the reviews that I've seen on Twitter have been very positive. So it's very cool. If you're a Mint Mink holder and you've been playing the game, I'd really love to hear like what it's like. Basically, if you have this NFT, you're able to play as that character in the game. And this is, in effect, the first appearance of a VeeFriend in a playable video game outside of Journey to Gary B. So it's definitely the first that has like actual actions. Obviously, Gary B was sort of just like a Flappy Birds copy. So very cool. VeeFriends entering into the video game world, IP growing. I also have a link here to a VFam Sessions podcast that was just released. If you don't know VFam Sessions, they're on episode 18. Their latest episode is with president of VeeFriends, Andy Kranak. And Rob, Mr. Messer, who runs this project, is constantly looking for VeeFriends to go do like a deep dive interview with and share VeeFriends stories. I will say Rob is a token holder of mine, but this is not a paid promotion. I just think that this podcast is going to provide some added context and value to you, being VeeFriends curious. That's the scoop in VeeFriends. I've got a couple in other news for you. Before I close out the podcast, I just want to say thank you for listening. I know this was a longer one, and I know I'm constantly waffling between like doing shorter podcasts, doing longer podcasts, doing podcasts every day, doing podcasts every week. Thank you for going through all the ebbs and flows with me. I've been doing a little bit less podcast because I'm now speaking every Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern time with the GM VeeFriends, co-hosted with Sal DeGuardia. So even if you can't catch it live, you're welcome to listen to the replay. Try to keep it value focused. A lot of it is conversational, and I definitely want to find a better balance between that and the podcast. But there is a lot of nuance and little updates that are provided there as well. I know I got a couple messages from you folks being like, I'm a podcast guy. Please give me the podcast. So here it is. I hope it's been a good one. This last round of updates is in other news. So VeeFriends did a Giving Tuesday give back with Pencils of Promise. We haven't got the numbers on this yet, but they donated $20,000 last year in addition to a Series 1 Go. I know that this year, VMinders alone, VMinders, the community project that help spread positive affirmations by VeeFriends, sort of a la Guy with a Sign. They donated through their community and private anonymous donors $5,000 to this effort. So it'll be interesting to see when those numbers come out, how much they were able to provide for Pencils of Promise. That's one of the 5 charities that VeeFriends supports with the 1% of their, 1% of their royalties, which is actually 10% of their royalties. You know what I'm saying? 1% of sales revenue, you know, that comes through royalty marketplaces. Gary also released a blog post about why he said that 98% of NFTs will fail. This is an interesting read. It's a little longer, a lot of retrospective content that he made along the way. And I think it's valuable to read for a couple of reasons. Number one, it may give you an insight as to the projects you're in if you're considering jumping ship, as I understand many people are, as we're experiencing a lot of uncertainty in the market right now. It's also a really good resource if you're looking for a publication to invite someone to consider the long-term value here. Meaning, if you're having trouble like talking to your friends, family, or colleagues about why NFTs are a really important new technology, even though 95 to 99% of them have been scams, this can provide sort of a step-by-step breakdown of like why a lot of these NFT projects went wrong and some of the reasons why the market corrected or collapsed, depending on how you look at it. And also, Gary's VCR group, which released the Flyfish Club, announced their location recently. I wanted to just put it on your radar again. It isn't in the Lower East Side, east of Soho. I haven't been there myself, but they're positioned for a Q3 opening. So looking at the summer of 2023. Can you believe we are just 3 weeks from 2023? We made it. Oh my gosh. The last thing I wanted to share is Chat GPT. AI has been taking the world by storm over the last couple of weeks, has gone viral in multiple use cases. I left a link to Chat GPT and a Twitter thread about some current use cases. I'd highly encourage you to look at this. There was a nice synchronicity moment where we were talking about this in the GM Twitter Spaces at the exact same time that Gary shared it in the Discord. And he said that this is going to have a huge impact in 2023. This technology, ChatGPT, which is essentially an AI copywriter, hit 1 million users in a matter of 5 days. For context, it took Instagram, or it took Facebook almost 4 years to hit that number of users. So, or I'm sorry, it took Netflix almost 4 years. It took Facebook closer to 2 years. But regardless of that, artificial intelligence is even newer than NFTs. Like when we talk about NFTs being early, like AI is just a blip at this point. But this is a very powerful tool, whether it's ChatGPT or DALL-E or Midjourney. I highly encourage you to do some homework on what these tools are, how they work, and how they might improve your workflow, your business, or just be fun. I personally have been like kind of going down the rabbit hole, and I've been using ChatGPT to draft content. I'm sort of working on a new product release. It's helping me with that. It's made a job posting with me. It's made sales pitches for my NFT project and so much more. So yeah, I couldn't discover something this valuable and not share it with you, even though it's not VeeFriends related. So I really do hope you check it out. And lastly, before we close, I will just say, if you have gotten value out of this podcast or the content that I put out on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok and all the rest, it would mean the world to me if you would mint our Jeremy Knows NFT. You can mint it at mint.jeremyknows.com and get all the information and FAQs at info.jeremyknows.com, or hit me up on Twitter. I'd be happy to walk you through it. Simply, we have a paid text service that you can only get access to if you hold the NFT. But if you burn the NFT, you can reserve 30 minutes of my time for consultation, support, direct access, as much as, not as much as you like. It's a one-time thing because you have to burn it, but for whatever it is that I might be able to help solve your problem. Funds from that NFT go directly to supporting my sustained presence, being able to do this day in and day out, and being as present as I am in the VeeFriends community. So I want to thank our 184 holders for minting so far. Shout out to everybody who's been using the utility, getting first access to actionable information over the text message platform, and writing so many wonderful reviews on Twitter. I really can't express enough how much it means to me. I put out a tweet just this week. I posted one of these ChatGPT sales pitches for the NFT, and then I retweeted it and I said, "Who wants to pay my rent this week?" And I was very humbled that tweet got even more engagement than the previous one, and I saw a number of mints come in. And I know a lot of people are kind of like waiting on the sidelines. It's a very difficult time right now financially and in the markets. I've heard from a lot of people I've been meaning to mint it, or, you know, I really would be a holder. It's just not a good time for me. And I just want to also acknowledge, like, that's okay. I appreciate you. I don't expect you to mint the project. I just want you to know that it does go directly to support me. I'm an independent creator in the Web3 space. I've been doing this for over a year and a half. I'm putting my heart and soul into this community, and I need to be paid for my time. And while I'm looking for a position in Web3, this is my lifeline. So if you want to provide me some life, go to mint.jeremyknows.com and mint the token. I really appreciate it. And I know a lot of the core podcast audience has minted it. So really, really big shout out to everybody and thank you. But I would be remiss if I didn't mention it. So there you have it. A nice 1 hour recap on what's going on in VeeFriends. I will do my best to keep everybody updated as I travel to Argentina and get my bearings about how much I'll be able to check in or not. It does seem that VeeFriends is going to be making some announcements over the next 2 to 3 weeks. So I'm going to be looking for some people to sort of cover on the announcement side, make sure people get to stay up to date. But wow, this has been a recap of IP, tech, events, products, and everything else happening in VeeFriends on the Jeremy Knows podcast. Thank you so much for your time and your attention. I've been your host, Jeremy, Heart Trooper number 7, and I will see you tomorrow. Wow, what a show. What a show. Just rattling off, talking to myself, talking to you for an hour, you know, as you do. Who did win the parade? I think Cool Cats won the parade. I actually so let me see if I can find out. So the answer, and I see Corso's in the Twitter. Maybe he can tell us. But what I saw was that they don't have their Discord. No, wait. Macy's parade vote Discord. So I tried to join the Discord and then I got stuck. So I was trying to solve the CAPTCHA. Okay, let me see. Can I get in now? Solve the CAPTCHA. Okay, great. Okay, I'm in. I couldn't do it on my phone for some reason. So I imagine it's in their announcements here. Here's the leaderboard. Cool Cats. Cool Cats were the winner with a total of 200,000 votes cast. I should have had this information in the podcast, but oh well. With 200,000 total votes cast, Cool Cats came in first with. Nice. Look at that. There it is. Here you go. Cool Cats came in first with a total of 63,538 votes, followed by the Sup Ducks. Wow, they really had a run up. G Money, this is really interesting. I would like to see this sort of play out over time because G Money had a lead, but he was basically about the same here a week ago. And Sup Ducks were just above us, but they've like doubled their vote count. And Cool Cats, like, man, like really ran it up. So VeeFriends ended in fourth with 28,500 votes. Cool Cats was 63,500. Sup Ducks second with 57,000. That hurts. That's actually a pretty close. I mean, they really like. There are two tiers here. There's first and second, and then there's third, fourth, fifth. So that's really interesting. I don't know exactly what to make of that, but it's very interesting. I guess now we post the podcast, don't we? So, yeah, update 12.11. 1. Yeah, update 12.11 part 2. GK episode 218. Is it 18? I think so. Mm-hmm. Big. It's a big VeeFriends update. Hey, VeeFriends. I missed you here on the podcast. This will get you caught up to speed with everything I could find going on in the VeeFriends universe. As always, if I miss anything, please let me know so I can include it next time. Sad to say we didn't. It's already in there. Here is a Google Doc with all the relevant links I mentioned. The show notes are too long to fit in this in Anchor's 4,000 character limit. You know, it's kind of interesting. The 4,000 character limit. Did you guys hear that Elon is going to extend the character limit on Twitter to 4,000 characters? Did you hear this? I don't think we have a timeline, but it's been confirmed, which is kind of crazy. So here's the Google Doc. Let me share this. Anyone with the link can view. Comment? Yeah, why not? We can have comments. Hopefully people don't abuse that and there's not somebody like writing really nasty shit. Oh, you know what? Even better. Let me cut this and make it here. Cool. Add my podcast notes. Where do you go? Oh my gosh. Yeah, clean up my notes app. Podcast show notes. Let's get rid of this. Oh yeah, let me get rid of this too. Great. Okay, I think that's everything. Now let me just make sure this isn't like too messy. We can make this 11 or what was it, 12? Sure. Let me get the Mint Mink blog. Well, I guess actually, let's do this. Copy. This is probably not the best way, to be honest, but it's okay. guess we can include this. Oh. I know there's a better way to do this, but well. Didn't even mention that people got to mint their artwork, but oh well. Yeah, I think it's okay. It's not perfect, but it's okay. Wow. What a show. What a show. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Thanks for watching. Very cool trying this on Twitter. I think, I mean, we can totally keep doing Twitter. I honestly didn't realize I could do this until recently. What's interesting is I can see the live chat on my phone, but I don't see the live chat in, like, it doesn't come out as comments on the feed. So I have to have it open on my phone somehow. And I can't see the comments on my desktop. And I can't see the Twitter comments on the screen the way that I can see Twitch and YouTube comments. So that's all super interesting. I know that Frank DeGods is working on a way to have the comments on screen from Twitch and LinkedIn. So that's an idea. But I feel like this is really best for a interview format. So we'll think about that. Also, I'm going to be doing a live workout with PD Grows on Instagram. I don't know exactly when, but probably either like soon, like very soon, or after the VeeFamilia Twitter Spaces. So there's a VeeFamilia Spaces happening on Not a Gambler's platform at 2:55, which is basically 12 PST, 3 Eastern. So that's also up. Spam in my inbox. That's fun. Cool. Boom. Twitter's a funny place. I know I'm being super boring right now. Checking my notifications. How dare I? How dare I stop being an entertaining clown? Cool. All right, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. Thanks for playing. And I think we'll see you at the next one. It's been a blast. Hope the podcast is valuable for everybody. And yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.